Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers conduct disaster relief for Typhoon Damrey survivors in south-central Vietnam. Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers help a man spread out foam pads on the floor to prevent him from getting injured. Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia help a senior who lives in a remote outlying island rebuild a new house. South-central Vietnam was hit by Typhoon Damrey in early November last year. It was the strongest typhoon the country faced in 16 years, leading to serious flooding which affected many people. To help the affected residents through this difficult time, the local government sought assistance from Tzu Chi volunteers.
Affected by the 16th typhoon of the year, one community in Can Hoa province saw many of its streets flooded with Tzu Chi volunteers arriving a day before the distribution to put materials in place. In early November 2017, the Can Hoa province was hit by the Typhoon Damrey, causing damage to many crops and houses. Tzu Chi volunteers were contacted by the People's Aid Coordinating Committee to distribute aid.
Today's volunteer came from several places. I think that everyone here, all our residents, will remember in their hearts the name Tzu Chi.
Volunteers brought materials such as rice, metal sheeting, and cash assistance to help more than 700 households.
The metal sheeting was purchased through a Taiwanese company who saw the compassion of Tzu Chi volunteers and paid for some of the costs, so the residents can have a roof over their heads and a warm new year.
On the day of the distribution, rains continued and volunteers used umbrellas to help people with the rice distribution.
In my youth, I want to do more for other people. Some young women work very hard and I must do more than them.
I think Tzu Chi is a very professional organization and every volunteer is very loving. I was invited by my neighbor to join and I gave thanks for the opportunity to volunteer and serve, as I can learn so much from volunteers.
Natural disaster brought harm to this community, and Tzu Chi volunteers have brought supplies to help during this crisis, allowing everyone to enjoy a happy new year.
In China, Tzu Chi volunteers in Fujian changed this year's winter aid distribution to door-to-door visits, bringing their love directly to underprivileged residents. Medical professionals from a hospital in Fujian also joined the volunteers to help out.
Dieshi Township is almost always foggy and drizzling. During the winter, the locals can always see Tzu Chi volunteers coming to town.
I'm very grateful, very thankful. I'm very satisfied. I still kept many aid supplies you gave me before. I want to use them slowly.
Different from the past, this year volunteers distribute the supplies directly to their house so that the local residents don't need to bother for transportation, and the volunteers can also get to know them better. The old grandpa feels warm whenever he heard about Taiwan. This time, about 500 households have received supplies, with 135 volunteers' help. Many of them were medical team members of Fujian City Hospital. Some of them even bring their children to come along.
We've delivered many bags of rice. It's not tiring. I feel very good doing this.
From doing this, he might learn that giving is a very joyful thing to do. I believe this will be the most profitable lesson for him because children nowadays have received too much love since little, and I hope he can learn to love others.
Sending warmth in the winter, both the volunteers and the aid recipients feel joy in their hearts.
They really live in poverty, like this window here. Windows could go inside. I feel very happy that I can do something within my reach.
Also in China, Tzu Chi's year-end blessing ceremony was held in Liaoning with activities that promote filial piety. Meanwhile, as Tzu Chi volunteers in Xiamen held their year-end blessing ceremony, scholarship recipient Lin Huoji joined his parents to express his gratitude and is now ready to pay the love forward.
In the past, I've received Tzu Chi brothers and sisters' best wishes. Now I can share my best wishes with others. I have received their help, and now I gradually have the ability to help others.
Tzu Chi year-end blessing ceremony in Xiamen is held at the International Conference Hall. Tzu Chi scholarship recipient Lin Huoji takes to the stage with his family to express their gratitude. At the ceremony, the attendees also learn about Tzu Chi volunteers' footprints in Fujian.
The two sons of mine are also very down-to-earth. They respect me very much.
With applause and laughter, Tzu Chi volunteers have had a splendid year.
I feel the positive energy. I feel that I've been awakened spiritually.
I've just come today. I feel great. I will come more often.
The volunteers encourage the public to join their ranks, living a more fulfilling life. At the year-end blessing ceremony in Liaoning, Tzu Chi volunteers welcome the local residents who have come. One of them is 70-year-old Zhou Shuxing, the mother of volunteering training Lin Chunyuan.
Joining Tzu Chi activities make me feel joyful. Since I'm quite old, I'm very happy to be able to come here.
Young volunteer Zhuo Meihan has also brought her classmate Wang Nan to learn about Ethical Eating Day. Besides promoting vegetarianism, the performance also conveys the message that one must fulfill one's filial duties. Guo Shuming has been deeply touched by the performance.
I feel that I have not done enough. There is a lot more I should do for my parents. From now on, I cannot delay on fulfilling my filial duties.
As the attendees light up the lamps in their hands, they all harbor the compassionate thoughts to reach out to those in need.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Xiamen, Fujian have been caring for 40-year-old Cai Jixian for over a decade. Seeing that Cai and his grandmother face their life with positive attitude and even do recycling to help other less fortunate people, the volunteers all feel very happy about this. However, as Tai usually moves around on his knees, volunteers recently helped him spread out foam pads on the floor to prevent him from getting injured. A new table has been delivered to the Tai family prior to the new year.
These will be given to those who have mobility problems. We feel very happy, and our boss feels very happy too.
If the table is high enough, he can lean on the table to eat and he no longer needs to hold the bowl. This table is high enough.
For 40 years, besides using a wheelchair, Cai has also relied on his knees to move around. Tzu Chi volunteers have personally completed the simple home decorations.
We have spread out foam pads in his room and the hallway. We have also helped him spread the carpets, which we brought from our home.
The foam pads spread on the floors help Tai reduce the risk of getting injured. Let's turn our camera to the United States. In 2017, Texas suffered from Hurricane Harvey, leading many affected residents to move to Dallas to start a new life. Tzu Chi Dallas chapter has since continued to help and care for them. Inspired by their teachers, children from Tzu Chi Great Love Preschool and Kindergarten in Dallas brought food to the disaster victims. In addition, they've also made cookies for a charity sale, contributing their share to help those in need.
豆子是属于哪一类？蔬菜类，对不对？ 有没有小朋友知道这个 cereal 是属于哪一类？
谷类。
谷类。对了哈，这个是属于谷类哈 ，grain。
These foods are not only teaching materials, but also love from students and their parents.
是你自己要吃，还是要送给别人？
送给别人。
送给什么样子的人？
没有买钱的别人。
If he can start learning about giving when he is very young, it can cultivate him to have a grateful heart. He can understand that many people in the world don't have the good environment he has.
拍一拍，拍拍一点。哇，谢谢你们帮忙。Good job.
To give is much more profitable than to gain. Students learn to make cookies in class for a fundraising, shapes, and package the baked cookies. They put up a stand on the hallway and invite people to buy cookies.
Please buy cookies to help people. Buy some cookies for people that don't have any food.
一张有万的给他。
It's important for them to see, well, I have all of this, right? But it's not just for me. It's not just for me to make me happy. I can make other people happy. And it's good to share all the happiness that you have, too.
In the season of celebration, Daai kindergarten students in Dallas have started their new year by giving others what they have, which is the most meaningful gift for them.
In Indonesia, a 78-year-old grandmother lives in a house that looks ready to collapse at any time. She is heavily in debt and lives in a remote outlying island. After Tzu Chi volunteers learned about her situation, they decided to help her build a new home, which could help protect her from future typhoons.
This 80-year-old wooden hut looks quite dilapidated and about to collapse.
Grandma says every night if it rains, she cannot sleep because she doesn't know when her house will collapse, maybe when she is sleeping.
The remote island of Tanjung Balai, Karimun, Indonesia is where 78-year-old D.G. Pong lives with her two sons in a house which could be destroyed by a storm at any time. 20 years ago, her husband died, was unable to renovate as a former neighbor was worried about her condition.
How did her house become like this? When I came back, I wanted to help her, but then my friend said that Tzu Chi could help.
After learning about the situation, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to help by helping her rebuild. However, her remote location meant reaching her took 1 hour by boat and then by motorcycle. Then everything from building supplies to a new toilet had to be brought this way.
A motorcycle can only carry 4 bags of sand at a time, and when it comes to cement, it can only carry 1 bag at a time.
As long as volunteers have faith, they can overcome great obstacles and help rebuild this new house, with many volunteers even chipping in to paint.
I'm fully of joy because people are willing to help me. I hope to see you again in 2 to 3 months.
Worried that the family would be inconvenienced because of their remote location, volunteers also gave them a bicycle. Now, when it rains, this elderly woman can rest assured that her house will not collapse in the middle of the night.
In Malaysia, there is a Tzu Chi care recipient who regularly undergoes dialysis treatment. Since Tzu Chi volunteers began providing him with monetary aid, he has been donating a little bit of his money to the Tzu Chi International School. He said he is quite blessed because even though he does not own much, there is nothing he lacks in life. Let's meet this content senior.
My name is Chen Bingqi, and people call me Uncle Chen. I live above the harbor market, and I am 68 years old. How many more decades do we have?
Chen Bingqi is a dialysis patient who lives by himself. His home is above the market, which is a 2-story building. He lives in a small room next to the public restroom. When we first saw his living condition, I thought it is not good. Then his vision worsened, and he had a bicycle accident. After that, he sold electrical bicycle. Now he commutes by bus and goes out at 4 or 5 in the morning to undergo dialysis treatment.
Both of my kidneys have lost their functions. Therefore, I've been undergoing dialysis for 8 years. I stopped working since I started undergoing dialysis treatment. I cannot save my vision. People need to be content. You cannot complain about the situation. That would not be right. That's how life is. Do not ask for too much. Last time, you asked me if 400 ringgits of monetary aid would be enough. How could I say no? It is all right if I do not eat so well. As long as I do not go hungry, that is fine. I am really blessed, although I do not have much, but I do not lack anything. The most important thing is that I am healthy. It would be terrible if I have to be hospitalized. I should be content. This way you will understand that there is still love in the world.
In fact, we've only provided monetary aid for him for about 2 years. 1 or 2 months after we started helping him, he began to support Tzu Chi. He has been saving up in a coin bank to be donated to Tzu Chi for more than 1.5 a year. Although it is not a lot of money, but he is very persistent. I often ask him, we subsidize a little bit of money and you are donating 30 ringgits to us. Will this affect your life? He insisted and told me, it's alright, don't worry, I will take care of myself.
I donate 30 ringgits to Tzu Chi's International School. Although it's a small amount of money, if everyone does it, we can accumulate a lot of donations. It does not affect my life, since it is only a ringgit a day. Therefore, I'm willing to do this. Life is wonderful, but there is an end to it. In a later stage of our life, we should seize the time to do something meaningful.
Pancreatic cancer is often seen in the news because many celebrities have died of it, even though they have already received treatment. Although modern medicine has advanced, pancreatic cancer remains hard to prevent, discover, and treat. Most of the time, it's already at terminal stage when the patients are diagnosed with this disease and their health condition after treatment is not ideal. Let's learn more about this cancer.
This is the image of doctors removing pancreatic cancer by Da Vinci surgical system. Although modern medicine has advanced, pancreatic cancer remains to be a challenge to handle.
If the patient can undergo surgery, the 5-year survival rate is about 15 to 20%. If surgery cannot completely remove the tumor, then the rate drops to 3 to 5%.
Dr. He Wuzhong in Penghu gives clinic by cruising around the island for more than 20 years. Nonetheless, when he found himself having pancreatic cancer in the beginning of 2017, he passed away 11 months later at the age of 54.
Some senior medical doctors put their whole life's effort to improve the public's life, and this is the real dedication to medicine.
Technology guru Steve Jobs, world's #1 tenor Luciano Pavarotti, movie star Patrick Swayze, legendary musicians Hong Yifeng and Vincent Liang all died of pancreatic cancer.
It's very often that we found out the patient had this cancer at the terminal stage when the tumor gets bigger and suppresses nearby organs, because that's when obvious symptoms come out.
Pancreas is in the deep abdomen where the common abdominal ultrasound can hardly detect the tumor and thus make it challenging to start treatment in the early stage.
In many cases, when the cancer is found, it has already transferred to the other areas or violated the large vessels, which can't be removed by surgery. There are natural limitations to operate a surgery under these circumstances.
Removing a tumor by surgery is difficult and high risk, but without the surgery, other treatment methods have very limited outcomes.
Radical surgery is still the best way to cure pancreatic cancer because it reacts very poorly to the traditional chemo and radiation therapies.
Pancreatic cancer has no clear cause and is not easy to prevent. The high-risk group includes men over 60 years old, who has smoking habits or family histories of cancer.
It might be partly related to low veggie and fruit diet, like high saturated fats or sugar intake or overweight and diabetes, as well as patients who have chronic pancreatitis could be causing reasons for pancreatic cancer.
Stomach ache, vomiting, losing of appetite, weight drops, or jaundice can all be the symptoms of pancreatic cancer. As soon as you notice these symptoms, you should go to the doctor for a further check.
Landfills all around Taiwan are reaching saturation, plus most of the incinerators are about 20 years old, which require massive repair or elimination. As the trash problem has become more and more complicated, teaching the public to lessen waste is the fundamental way to solve problems. This includes good habits like reusing plastic bags and always bringing our own reusable utensils. A little from everyone can gather to become a great power.
The West landfill in Doleo is running out of space as the excavator keeps on piling up the garbage. Most of Tainan's public landfills are too full, so they decide to shut them down. Not just these two cities, many other places in Taiwan are facing a difficult situation where there is no more space for trash.
If we can lessen the garbage amount from the beginning, we can save much energy later, like dealing with garbage or some pollution problems.
In our life, paper, plastic, and leftovers are the main sources of waste. For paper waste, we can try to lessen the use of paper and promote a paperless and electronic life. For kitchen waste, we can try to decrease leftovers or turn them into fertilizers. For plastic waste, we can reuse plastic bags and limit our use of plastic bottled beverage. Liao Chunhua is a good example to start reducing the production of trash in daily life. She always reuses the plastic bag. Even if it has holes on it, she still fixes it and continues to use it.
That's hole there. I will fix it.
When she's doing grocery shopping, she will bring her own plastic bag to buy fruits and her own containers for other foods.
Every day, if you can decrease the use of plastic bags, say 5 more less for each person, then it's a shocking number counting all the people who are doing grocery shopping.
This carnival here is themed with plastic-free life as all the participants are using recycling glasses.
We use the glasses from Zhengjing Street to replace the plastic bottles that can only be used once.
There are a group of students here at the corner of the stand. What are they doing?
We provide these bowls to people who don't have their own, and we can wash it right away.
These boys are concentrating to wash all the bowls. They work very hard to achieve the goal of reducing trash.
We didn't produce any trash here. Our teacher